Hi, welcome to Realty Pilot's webinar. My name is Christian Broadwell, and we've got quite a few attendees at this webinar, so we're going to have everyone remain muted. We do have some panelists on the line at the moment, and I'll introduce them in just a few minutes here. To get started, I want to make sure that everybody understands if you have any questions that you'd like to ask during the presentation, please type your questions at the bottom of the GoToWebinar panel. And you can find that down where it says chat or questions. And we have people standing by that can answer some questions. At the very end of the webinar, we will then at that point do some respond to some of these questions that anyone may have. Now, to get started, you should have showing on your screen right now the Realty Pilot, the front page that we have. And what I'm going to do is actually go through some introductions here. I've got some clients on the line, and we're going to just go through a few simple hellos. And I believe also John Murray should be joining us also, who is president of Realty Pilot. Myself, CEO, and we've got a really great webinar here that you're going to be, it's just going to open your eyes to some of the new models that are being introduced into real estate. So to get started, I have on the line right now from Blue Mountain, I have Luke Monroe and also Earl Krause. So, and then in addition to that, I have from Gorilla Capital, who's on the line, is Evan Weisner. And then we also have attending additional clients that are just watching the webinar: CWC Investments, Keystone, Affinity Asset Management, and several others. So I'm going to give a few seconds for these guys to introduce themselves. So Luke, if you want to go ahead and say, give your short introduction.
Yeah, my name is Luke Monroe. I'm with Blue Mountain, based in California, but we are a company acquiring properties nationally, and I had helped lead our national acquisitions program.
Okay, and then we also have Evan Weisner from Gorilla Capital. Evan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. It's great to be a part of this. We, like Blue Mountain, we're a company that acquires property nationally with a couple of specific states that we're heavily focused in. And I'm also responsible for all of the acquisitions for Gorilla Capital with regards to our specified sales areas.
Okay, great. All right, folks, we have, we're going to start off by actually playing a short video so you can understand basically what Realty Pilot's platform is all about. When you're an agent or broker, it's difficult to really manage an entire business, and that's really what this software does. It's a complete back office, really a virtual office that you can manage anything and everything from any mobile device, and it's fully cloud-based. In addition to that, we'll talk about some of the secured capabilities of it. But before we get into the acquisition model of this, it's best to understand how the whole system operates. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started.
Managing your real estate. Concourse 360 is our complete automation suite. It has all of our systems wrapped into one solution that includes Bpo Traffic Controller, Real Estate Inspector, and Offer Runway. Concourse 360 allows you to track.
I'm sorry. Let me start this back up again here. Apologize for that. I'm going to move to a different browser. The GoToMeeting sometimes tends to not want to work correctly on specific.
Welcome to Realty Pilot, your virtual back office solution to managing your real estate. Concourse 360 is our complete automation suite. It has all of our systems wrapped into one solution that includes Bpo Traffic Controller, Real Estate Inspector, and Offer Runway. Concourse 360 allows you to.
Sorry about that.
Track and automate your entire business.
Okay.
Welcome to Realty Pilot, your virtual back-office solution to managing your real estate. Concourse 360 is our complete automation suite. It has all of our systems wrapped into one solution that includes Bpo Traffic Controller, Real Estate Inspector, and Offer Runway. Concourse 360 allows you to track and automate your entire business by allowing you to manage all transaction types, from point of contact to close of escrow. In one place, you can manage all of your vendors, from HOA to title company, inspectors to home warranties. You can manage all of your clients, such as buyers, sellers, asset companies, and banks. Manage all aspects of your property listings and purchases, including photos, expenses, offers, transactions, and more. And track all of your leads from call-in to closing. Concourse 360 allows you to import MLS data, CSV files, documents, and photos, making it easy to convert from your obsolete systems. Concourse 360 includes Bpo Traffic Controller. A Bpo Traffic Controller can manage your entire Bpo team, track your income, and it allows you to import comparable data quick and easily into our form using RETS integration with your MLS or by importing a CSV file. Once the data is in our form, you can use our browser extension to autofill into your client's website. With Bpo Traffic Controller, you are automatically eligible for assignments from asset companies. And with our new Real Estate Inspector smartphone application, you can accept BPOs right from your mobile device. The Real Estate Inspector app allows you to add and complete inspections, accept BPOs, and add BPO photos. The photos can then be uploaded directly to Concourse 360. Offer Runway is our free offer management system that lets you easily manage all of your offers from anywhere. You can also integrate Offer Runway directly into your own website, allowing you to send buyers and buyers' agents to the site. You can also connect Offer Runway to Concourse 360 for ease of management all in one place. Upload and sync photos, documents, and account information. Concourse 360 and Offer Runway are compliant with all of the state regulations and backed with SOC 2 Type 2 certifications. You can take advantage of our online knowledge base that includes frequently asked questions and our video tutorials. We also have live chat and telephone support available to you as well. To view information about getting started with Concourse 360 and things you might need to keep updated, click the link at the end of the video. And thank you for choosing Realty Pilot.
All right, let me go ahead and switch screens here. Now, I talked a little bit about the security of our site. First of all, we are the only platform out there today in the real estate industry that has a SOC 2 Type 2 certification. And unlike some of the other companies that require that you must remove specific contact information of non-public information of forms, that is something that can be loaded in our system and is in a safe state. So that SOC 2 Type 2 certification gives us that capability of housing that information. In addition to that, we also have a live support, which you can see here in the upper corner just on our main site. And in our regular login page, you can also see the live support right on your menu bar here. In addition to that, we have weekly training and also recorded videos. So inside the system, you can go directly to training videos on a weekly basis if you want to actually go to our webinar schedule or look at some of our training videos. You can go to those directly from our main site, and that's from realtypilot.com. So now let's go ahead and get started with a few items on why this acquisition has actually become a new model in the industry, and start with the current state of affairs. So as we see across the country, we've got low inventory, we have high demand, and that's in both owner-occupied and also rentals. And what's happening is a large volume of hedge funds, PE firms, REITs, and many other financial institutions are out there trying to buy properties. And currently right now what's happening is the bulk sales have dried up. And anyone that's been in the default industry, if you're dealing with short sales, if you're working through MLS and so forth, you understand the current state of affairs right now. So what's happening is there's a very large volume of properties that are on the sidelines in which people have direct connection with, but what we're doing is we're bringing to you the clients that are buying those properties on a very quick basis. And so what our system will do, and what I'm going to demonstrate here in just a minute, is how that whole process works. So the amount of money out there is staggering. If you actually, like we had recently attended a hedge fund conference, and the number of billion-dollar operations that were actually at that conference was numbered in, close to 100 companies that I would say were represented there, and many of those actually had $1 billion on the sidelines ready to buy. And you'll find that that is one of the reasons why we're finding these bulk sales have dried up, in addition to other reasons. But now what they're doing is they're going out trying to utilize the agents to find those properties themselves. So what we're going to do is go ahead and demonstrate this acquisition module. And in the acquisition, you'll find this is the Concourse 360. So Realty Pilot, we developed an entire back office solution, and in there it's a complete workflow management in addition to a total virtual office. And under the menu items here that you see, we have properties, and then we have acquisitions. So the properties, listings, and purchases, which is a place in which you manage a transaction or manage a listing or manage a purchase. Now, under acquisitions is a spot in which you actually start that acquisition. You're going to introduce it to clients. And an acquisition is basically adding a property to the system. And as you can see here, you can, when adding an acquisition, we're going to choose, and I'm just going to walk through and show you, demonstrate basically how this works. So as a agent in our system, we do have a lot of agents currently right now that are strictly using our system for BPOs. Now, if you're using it for BPOs alone, you'll actually have to purchase the full Concourse 360 in order to have access to these clients, in order to bring the properties to them so that you can move through with a transaction. So once you have the Concourse 360 system, you'll see actually across the menu all of these items in which you have access to and full use of. So now, once you get to the acquisition tab, you would end up, let's say you're out in the field and you're locating properties, and you come across something that's non-MLS, which many clients prefer non-MLS properties, and there are some out there also are buying from MLS. So it all depends on what their description states. Now, I wouldn't discount MLS listings, but in most cases they probably have been looked at. So as you're finding these properties, it could be a neighbor, it could be a for sale by owner, it could be a broker that you know that has a pocket listing. It could be just about a portfolio owner that's looking at selling. It could be an attorney that's having to deal with a divorce, and they have property that they're going to end up having to turn. Short sales that have been looked over because someone's actually tried to go to their house and said, look, I want to be the listing agent on it. Well, instead, if you actually bring a letter of intent from one of these clients that says, we're going to buy this property at this value, what do you think that short sale person or owner is going to do? Most likely they're going to sit down and talk to you. So let's take a look at this. If we're bringing in a property type, we're going to also identify a transaction type. So let's just say it's a short sale. And as you can see here, we have REO, auction, and HUD also listed in here, and traditional. We're going to give it an address. We're just going to put anything in here. And we're going to call a city. Oops. Help if I spell this right. And let's just call it 16. Select states, and we're going to say it's not MLS listed. So what happens is if it is on the MLS, that MLS number is going to be checked against the data that is currently against the MLS or within our offer runway system. So if that property is already listed on Offer Runway, it'll determine whether or not it creates a property there or uses the current property in the system. So I'm going to say that it's not MLS listed. I'm going to say this is a value of $250,000. Suggested offer price, I'm going to come in at $215,000. Now, I also have to preface this as to saying that some of these clients may be buying at a very tight cap rate. So $215,000, might be great for one, but maybe $230,000 for another might be just as good. So it just all depends. And if it's new property or old property, that makes a difference, and locality and availability to rent it. So rental price, I'm just going to put in here that it would be $2,000. Suggested repair amount, I'm just going to leave it at 0. HOA none, and I'm going to say that this is a 12% cap. Now, if you want to know how to figure cap rate, we do have a simple cap rate instructions, and since I'm in a webinar, I'm unable to click this little hourglass or a magnifying glass, but when you click that, it'll actually give you a description on how to figure a simple cap rate. So, we, in order to also understand that a little bit further, it's best to take one of our other webinars, and we can go into that in more detail. But if you click on that, you'll also understand, from the description and the calculation how to figure that. Additional notes would be anything that a client's asking for. So I'm just, for instance, showing Blue Mountain here. And as you can see, they have a description in here what they're expecting to see. If I click on some of these others, such as Gorilla Capital, you can see like ROI, they want 10%, 90-day using average calculation, $10 per foot, and various other descriptive items. Now, some may be asking for specific documentation, like this company, National REO Services. They need documentation such as maybe county record page, photos, lien information, owner's information, any of the data that they may need to get started to do their evaluation. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on Z Loan Duck. This is actually a test asset company, and I'm going to actually get a response from this as we're working on this. I'm just going to say provided, let's see, lien information and cap rate, and I'm going to hit save here. So once I save that, that information shows up. As you can see, it's 2300 West Camelback is now showing, and since I chose Z Loan Duck, that's the only one that actually shows up under waiting. So if I were to actually go in here and if I choose multiple clients, it would end up showing up underneath each and every one of those clients. Now, once that shows up, this company is going to come in here and they're going to request information. They may order a BPO. So from their side, they can just basically, one, they have to claim the property. So they have an asset manager that's in there. They're claiming that property. Once that asset manager has it in their queue, they then can order a BPO. They can order additional information. And what's nice is, let's say, for instance, you have multiple clients that you work with, and you send it out to 2 or 3. You may end up getting a BPO from multiple. Now, some of them may request to have a BPO done by you, at no charge, since they're using you as the agent to close in this. Sometimes they may ask for that. They may also order it to other agents that are also working in the system, so that you may end up getting a BPO on a particular property that is not an acquisition that you ordered, but it could be a BPO from somebody else's acquisition. So those third-party types of requests are great. Now, if you wanted to look at the information that you had entered, you can go to this function column here. If there's any requested documents or documents that have been uploaded, or let's say that you want to upload a document yourself, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and just upload a document here. And I'm going to save this to, I'm going to identify Loan Duck as the company that I want to see this document. So first of all, it says select the files. I select the files. I've selected the asset company, and then I'm going to save this. Now what happens is it loads that document. You can also choose that document, and you can also see the timestamp at which that document was uploaded. So I'm going to close this out, and as you can see here, now we have one document that's actually loaded to the system. And if I click on that, it again, once it shows that information. So now, additionally, if I needed to edit anything on this, I can come in here and edit the initial request on this property. And then also, if it's a property that's been sitting there for a while and I want to archive it, I can just simply archive it. Now, anytime that you need to actually send a note to the asset company, in this portion here, any company that you had chosen to view the property, if you add a note here, it's going to show up to all those asset companies or hedge funds or clients that are in the system that you identified in this particular property. If you want to make this a private note, you click this, and this is just a note to yourself. No one else can actually see that. So if I'm going to add this note, I'll just add it. It'll actually show up on the asset manager's screen, and on their screen, it'll actually identify that there is now a new note. So I'm going to refresh this, and hopefully I've got maybe a request from here. I show that information was requested. So it looks like Duck requested information. I'm going to go to my information tab. And under that tab, there's 2300 Camelback. And it looks like if we click on the Notes tab here, it says, I do not see documents. Please upload these documents. So I'm going to close this out. And once again, I'm going to go to the Documents tab. And that was probably requested prior to me uploading that one. But I'm going to go in and just upload another document. And so if I refresh this, it's showing that I have two documents. And this green background is actually showing that there's a note. So they added another note and it says, I now see the document, thank you. Okay, so this is a note. And I'm just going to respond to the client. And I add that note. And it sends also a notification to the asset manager. So if I uncheck this, it'll show up in the system, but the notification will not go to their email. So I close that out. Now they have a green screen also on that particular note, so they understand that there is a note waiting for them. So if I click on the company, the client, it shows all the notes that have been passed back and forth. Now at this point, most likely what we're going to get is an offer request. So I'm going to go back to the Active tab and see if they have actually requested an offer. So hopefully here in the next few seconds I'll end up getting an offer from Duck. And there we go. We do have one offer that's actually requested. So it moves out of the information requested, and it's actually now under the tab of offer request. So now we actually have an offer that's been requested by the client. So we can click on the information tab. It shows all the data in which they're requesting to make an offer with, and the company, who's signing for it, the address, buyer type, and so forth. These are all the required information in order to start the offer itself. So what I would do is actually go directly to the property. So the next icon here, which is under the functions column, it takes you right to the property, because once the offer is requested by the client, it now sets up a property in your system. So I want to really emphasize that. So in other words, when an offer is made by the client, the offer request is made, it has now set up that property. So if I went and searched for 2300 in the system, if I just plug it in up here, there's the 2300 Camelback Road right there. So I can go directly to that property, or I can just click on this icon under the Functions tab, and it takes me to the property workflow area. So across here you see the entire workflow where you can manage the property in multiple areas, from photos, notes, tasks, expenses, documents, leads, showings, offers, transactions, BPOs, and inspections. So currently right now, I'm actually going to move over to the BPO to see if, okay, they did not request a BPO, but they did request an offer. So one step which what we will end up having here later this week is actually that information that you saw on the other page in which that information was requested. Because of having to move so fast to really keep in front of our clients, we have not made the connection where that data that you saw on that page of information to this page here. Now you will see that at the end of this week. So those links will actually come into play where all of this information will be filled out, and what you'll end up doing is actually uploading the documents here. Now the task also, there's going to be a task that's created, and that task that's created is actually under this tab here. So this is actually your next step prior to going to your offers tab. And you're going to see here the asset manager upload upload acquisition offer documents. And so to upload acquisition offer documents, this is going to be when you complete this task here. These are going to be the documents that you create from that information that they requested. So now once you upload those documents, it'll go to the asset manager. The asset manager at that point would then sign the documents and then complete this asset manager upload signed offer. Once they upload that signed offer, that is when you would actually go to the offer tab and then start your offer process to send it over to the seller. Now, the information here, you're going to have either a listing agent information or seller information, which you would place into this area. And in turn, also, you would show whether it's a buyer, a person, or it's an entity. And if it's an entity, which it would be on this particular case, you would fill out the entity's information and who's responsible for signing on that. That document that was uploaded would also be processed into this section and be uploaded, and then any additional comments can be added here. So really it is basically that simple. Now the process starts with the offer, and once the offer is submitted, you would then actually see and I'm going to go to a property in which we can actually show what some of this offer process looks like. So if we go into an offer section here, you can actually see when an offer is made, this is what shows up. So you could see back and forth multiple counters or additional offers that are made on a property. You'd simply have just your back and forth with the one client, with the seller or the listing agents in the system on this. So now that would require to have an email of the party that you're presenting that to. And what's nice is when you make that offer, the offer information is going to show up on the client side also. So they're going to be able to see that offer process taking place. Now, one of the things I'd also like to emphasize here before we come to a close is the tasking portion of this. There's actually 5 points throughout this whole process in which you can actually make money. So number one is during the acquisition, you can end up having a BPO that could be paid from a different company on a different property, or maybe a client is in a rush, or there's some reason why they'd like to order a BPO and maybe compensate you for that. In addition to that, the closing commission on the property. You're going to make a commission there. Number 3, you can end up making possibly a management fee if it requires a heavy management of the property, if that's part of the contract with your client. Number 4, you could end up flipping the property for your clients, and you'd make commission on the close of that property. And finally, if it goes to becoming a rental, you'd make money on the lease, and a possibility you could take it into inventory and then manage the rental under inventory. And our system allows for full capital expenses to be utilized on the property, so you can actually manage a rental with the capital expense section here. And under the tasking, you actually can add and request bids from multiple contractors. When in turn you're sending out something to a contractor, the asset manager also sees this information. So it reflects on their side. So when you're requesting a bid or work order, this data goes out to the contractors, and if the contractor is signed up on our site, which I recommend you definitely have your contractors sign up. At this point right now, there's no charge for the contractor. And so they can actually, if they get in prior to our sign-up page being finalized on our sites, they'd be able to come into the system at no cost. Otherwise, it's $20 a month for them and unlimited users for their side, and it allows them to upload their invoices directly to the site, so they don't have to send it to your email. They can also upload their bids, and so everything works very seamlessly within the system here. Now, so that completes the 5 different ways that you can actually make money on the system. And I actually want to mention something here. We're actually offering a discount to the first 5 agents that actually do a closed transaction with a client, and they'll every one of those agents will receive 2 months of free service. So now, because of the access level that you're going to have to clients that are buying throughout the U.S. At high volumes right now, the cost for the Concourse 360 is $99.95 per month, and you can sign up directly from our main site. And once you're signed up, you actually have 30 days free trial. Once that free trial is up, it is the $99.95 a month, and you have full access to these clients. We also have more clients coming into play, and it's a great way to really move property, and anything that you can find out there that you really need to get a closing on quick. Literally, you could double, triple, and quadruple your business in 90 days just by simply submitting a property into the system and requesting a response on that. And you will get immediate responses from our clients. So I'm going to open up to, let's see, hey, John, are you there on the line right now?
I am.
Okay. Since I've been talking so much so far up to this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn over to John for a few minutes and see if you want to make any comments on things that we went through today.
Yeah, I was reading through some of the comments, and the list of clients that we have here are the initial ones that are prepared to make offers today. We're in conversations with 5 to 10 times as many funds that are listed. So there'll be quite a few funds and they all vary in different parameters. So some of them want rentals, some of them want flips, some of them want to renovate, some of them have their own property management companies, some of them do not. In most cases, they want to reuse the agent that gives them the acquisition. They in turn want to then list and dispose with the same agent and or even do property management. So there's lots of opportunities here that were mentioned, in addition to even some BPO income that may be available. So this is an opportunity, and this is going to be a preferred way of doing business for the next 3 to 5 years.
And folks, you have to understand, I don't know if you all know, John was named #1 broker of 2010, or is it 2011? And
it's 2011 in the Wall Street Journal, and expected to be in the top 3 for 2012 production as well.
So now, there are. As John had mentioned, some of the questions here, like someone makes the statement that larger funds in their area have their own agents. This is an exposure to funds that are buying in the same area. So if the larger funds only want to deal with a specific agents themselves, that's fine. You still have access to these other funds that are buying just the same and are ready to turn over and actually really process the transaction very quickly. So it opens the door to capability of, how much business do you really want to do? And, if they're asking for specific properties, then, that gives you even a better parameter of what to go out and look for. I mean, if you can narrow down the field to specific properties and really concentrate on that, it gives you a capability of turning those types of properties and becoming more and more experienced at that. So, don't be afraid to deviate from the norm. And, again, as John mentioned, this is the new model in the industry. I mean, this is breaking out as we speak, and companies are looking to you to bring properties to them so they can move forward with this as quickly as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this open a little bit longer as we're answering these questions as they're coming through. And we appreciate everyone for joining us. And again, like I said, as agents, as you sign up to our system, definitely, the first 5 agents that close will actually provide 2 months free in addition to that trial period. So in other words, that's equivalent to $300 savings with the software. And again, it's an opportunity, and it's just getting started. And this is going to be rampant throughout the industry. And I appreciate everyone attending. Thank you.